Platinuming games can be a long and tedious grind. Some games can take over 500 hours to platinum, and others can be done in under 5 minutes. So today I'm putting to the test, is it more fun to platinum games with somebody else? I did platinum this game with my buddy. I'll put his channel in the description, but let's get on to the video. It Takes Two's platinum is a 3 out of 10 out of difficulty, 1 playthrough, and 15 hours to complete fully. In the story, you play as a child named Rose's parents, and you are trapped inside of 2 dolls that your kid creates. Then right after you meet the protagonists of the game, you find out that the Book of Love is forcing you guys to go through and fix your guys' relationship. Then after completing the tutorial, you are faced to defeat the first boss of the game. Most of the bosses in this game are pretty simple to defeat, only a couple actually make you lock in to complete them. The collectible process of this game is actually completing mini games that you do with the other player, and then once you discover or play all the mini games, you get the main trophy for it. And the next chapter you find a hammer, and then you have to return it back to its toolbox that it fell out of. Then after bringing back the hammer, you get imprisoned by some squirrels. The squirrels then give you guns to ward off their wasp invasion that's rampant throughout the tree. But first we come across our first 2 trophies of platinum. First one is for walking yourself into a torture chamber. This was a pretty pleasant surprise. Oh hell no, Zach. And then the next trophy is for just taking a picture with the Polaroid camera in the squirrel's hideout. Then you make it to the base of the wasp's nest. Then you march into what appears to be a gladiator pit, where you find a beetle who wants to escape with you. Then you end up into the wasp nest and find out that the queen wasp is actually just a robot wasp. Then once you defeat the giant wasp, you realize that it's not actually a wasp, but it's a cute little bumblebee. Then the wasps find out that their queen was actually a bumblebee as well, and then you have to escape with the bumblebee to destroy their nest. Then you have to escape from the treehouse because the squirrels are trying to get back at you from letting the bee go. So you escape via their only plane. Then you duke it out with the squirrel general on top of the plane. What is this? Then you make it back into your house, into Rose's room. Very on into the chapter, you can actually find a trophy.
That's amazing.
Then you meet up with Rose's monkey toy, which he thinks he is basically her bodyguard. So you have to fight through him and get through all of his puzzles to finally battle him. And then once you defeat him, you get access to be able to find Rose. But first you get a shrink ray and also gravity boots. Then you make a deal with Sir Monkey Man, and then you basically tell him that he will be prioritized as a toy further on. Then you find out that Rose actually can't see you guys, and you need to make her cry by doing something. So you guys ponder up an idea that if you kill the princess elephant, her favorite toy, she'll start to cry. We also get our next trophy, and it's for pulling the pullback cart into the ring. You also get a trophy for eating your Stegosaurus. Snackosaurus. Then you have to drop a rock on a sleeping dinosaur to make him open his mouth so you can drive your minecart through him. Pause, whoa, my bad. Then you have to defeat a giant octopus. The controls for the ship, because it's 2 people, is really ganky, but the boss wasn't that hard. It seems way harder in the beginning. Then you meet up with this Jagenbot, who is extremely creepy for no absolute reason. I don't know why the developers had to make this in so creepy looking. Anyways, you have to bring a marble to destroy a wall so you can lower the bridge. Then you find yourself at the base of the castle, where you have to slowly make your way up. But first we have a trophy at this trophy, so we're just hopping onto the train that goes around the base of the castle.
On rails experience.
Then after getting that trophy, you jump onto a giant bowling ball and then break down the drawbridge to enter into the castle. Then you get imprisoned, and then you sneak behind the toilets that aren't connected to anything because they're toys, which I'm pretty sure this is a Way Out reference.
Gee, God.
Then you find some enchanted armor that you find laying near a chest, and then the game turns into like a Minecraft Dungeons knockoff. This was very confusing.
That's the Terminator thing.
Then you defeat the final boss of this level and then make your way up to the Princess Elephant. This part of the game is like the most cutest part of the game, and it's also the most disturbing part of this game, because you kind of brutally beat up this elephant just to make Rose cry. But before that, the elephant tries to escape through its rocket ship escape tunnel, but then it runs into a cookie claw game, and then you basically have to pick him out like those old school arcade games, and then you tear him apart.
Could be worse. Diddy could have this thing goddamn absolutely covered in baby oil right now.
Me next! Me next! I want to be oiled up!
Then you drop the elephant princess off the edge to make Rose find her, and then Rose starts to cry, but then you realize the plan isn't working. She's crying, but you're not turning back.
Hey, yo!
Then you find a letter from Rose explaining exactly how to get out of your toy form, but before you're able to read it fully, the Mexican Book of Love comes and tears it apart. Then the Mexican Book of Love sits you down in a therapy session and explains the 4 steps that you guys need to do to repair your relationship. Then the Mexican Book of Love gives you a stopwatch so you can revert time or fast forward time to your heart desire. And you also find $2 where you have to guide yourselves throughout the chapter. The next part of the chapter, you go to what appears to be like an abandoned village where there is mini games in it. The one mini game is a giant big like death run almost, but it's a tower. This took me 20 minutes to complete for the trophy.
Holy Christ. Let's go, finally.
The next part of the chapter, as you go through this clock tower, there's a lot of different like puzzles that you have to go through until you find the final boss of the game, which is just a giant mechanical ball.
You do.
Then you have another quick boss fight where you have to basically fight a bird through quick time events. Then right after, the central clock of the game starts to almost bug out, starts spinning and making Cody's time clock just do all sorts of weird shenanigans. Then a bomb goes off, then you have to direct part of the clock into the heart of the clock to destroy it and finish the chapter. Then the Mexican Book of Love comes back and then tells you that your next step is to go through a nice snowy Iceland. In this chapter, you go around almost breaking off the ice off of all the buildings by using bells and its frequencies to destroy all the ice. Nothing really happens in this chapter besides this, so I'll basically skip ahead as much as I can. But there actually is a trophy in this level for bringing back this turtle's kids.
Again, keep track of your kids.
In the next part of the chapter, you are in a lake and you have to repair candy dispensers for the weird looking people. And your reward for this is the Mexican Book of Love will take you to the northest point of the mountain.
Diddy's after me, Diddy's
But before finishing the chapter, we get a trophy for feeding the seals on the side of the ocean. And then also for putting on a captain's hat.
Oh, it's Scurvy, ye look something captain.
Then this chapter finishes up with the main characters going on a ski lift to the top of the mountain where they find the Book of Love, and then he basically tells them that the next journey awaits them, and the next journey that awaits them is passion. In this chapter, you're running through Cody's garden, saving all of his infected plants, but you find trouble along the lake. You have to fight through waves and waves of infected roots. Then through the chapter, you find 2 spiders that you ride throughout the chapter. But first, there's the trophy for stopping at a meditation spot in the garden.
Relaxation. Release that tension at root level. We're definitely gonna have to run away for something.
Diddy, no! I want to keep my butthole!
Then you make it to the base of the main plant that's being infected, until you finally defeat the corrupted plant and bring it back to its former glory. And then that makes us come to the final part of the game, which is the 4th stage of the Mexican Book of Love's plan, which is another passion level. But for this time, instead of Cody, you're doing a maze. But instead of gardening, you just make sick-ass beats. I sort of forgot to record the very last chapter, so I'm gonna just do it in storyboards. You basically just collect microphones from around the attic, and then you basically just put on a sick performance at the very end. But that's it for the story. Next is the missing trophies. But the trophies for finishing the game and getting all the mini games aren't on my save, so let's just pretend. This trophy is for entering a secret room, which is an Ocarina of Time reference where you get infinite amount of gems. I'm a nerd, so I know these things. This is for flattening yourself with a printer. This is for breaking a piggy bank. I did this, but I didn't get the trophy for it in my original run. And then I also did this one too, and this is for listening to all the frequency.
There we go. That's the final trophy for the platinum. The trophy should pop right now. There we go.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.